Zan, lo pernah pakai joki tugas gak?
Pernah. Jokinya namanya Diandra Putra Ananta.
Pernah joki tugas gak?
Nggak pernah.
Kamu jujur aja.
Nggak pernah.
Nggak pernah gue.
Lo pernah joki tugas gak?
Nggak pernah.
Gak pernah ya?
In the academic environment of the University of Indonesia, students are increasingly facing challenges related to the academic integrity, particularly in the completion of the assignment. So, this example has been shown for jockey assignment or jockey siak as a term refer to the challenges that we face.
In Indonesia, the term jockey refers to a person who is hired to complete tasks or assignments on behalf of someone else. In context of higher education, jockey commonly refers to individuals who are paid to complete university assignments, projects, or examinations for students. This practice undermines the practice of academic honesty and compromises the development of essential skills among students.
The way I detect the assignment is joking or not is actually difficult, especially because of the advancement of technology now. You can create, our student can create many things using jockey, digital jockey, or human jockey. So how to actually detect is based on the people itself. For example, you. So I observe you as during the class. For example, okay, I observe you for the last 5 session or 6 session meeting. So I can simply know that okay, he is the quite smart people, or he is can do this or can do that. So if he submit the assignment with a very good compare with his capacity, his or her capacity. So the first thing first is to suspicious, yeah, and after that, then validate with the kind of tools, yeah, maybe LinkedIn or some others. But actually, this is really based on the track record of the student itself. Okay.
Yeah, actually, in the exam, based on my experience, I just see one by students. If there is some strange situation, so I will ask them or him or her about the jockey. For example, the first week before the examination, I have to check the student card. The student card, and then I will make sure that this is the student or not the student in the class.
If using the service of jockey, if it is found with a certain proof, of course, the penalty is based on the regulation. Yeah. I'm not very sure about the regulation, but as far I know, if you use the jockey or you use it considered as a plagiarism, and the plagiarism is very, very worse penalty because it is this very much disgraceful behavior in the academic life. So it can be failed on the class, or can be the E-mark, or get some reduction of the grading, or expelled from the university. But for me, I should really look on the regulation itself, so I cannot judge a certain penalty.
I think the student didn't get any mark in that semester, so it means that they didn't get anything in that semester.
Sure, of course, 100 and 1000%. It will devalues the what you call it? The value of the UI degree. Yes, Jockey is very much a trend for our academic life.
Yes, exactly. It will be developed UI degree.
Yes, we always can rely on the technology to detect. We always can rely to the system. But the most important is actually the integrity of the student itself. So it is very important. If you ask about the emas or siak, there are plenty of technology to detect plagiarism, to detect the similarity. Yes, we can go for that. But the most important is to educate and build the awareness of the value for any student that the integrity is number one. Yeah. You can cheat somebody, but you can never ever can cheat everybody. That's the point. And once you fail to prove that you are honest, then people will not believe forever. So be careful with integrity. Okay.
I think it's not based on the system, because I think it will be very difficult to distinguish between the jockey or the right students. But if the examinations held in the class is like offline, maybe it will be not very difficult to find a jockey. But if this is like an online examination, so it will be, I think it's very difficult to distinguish between the right person and also the jockey. Okay.
What factors cause you to participate in SIAK UI registration or assignment ghostwriting? Describe the decision process.
Okay, so first of all, that is a very complex yet interesting question that I'll probably try my best to answer. So some factors that I would say is that time constraints, if I can say, like I have other important priorities that must be done in a short timeline, resulting me in using those services to help me finish all of my tasks or whatever it is. And then probably the decision-making part, the answer is probably the same as my previous answer, where, as I said before, so because I have other important and much more main priorities that needs to be done, so I reside to those services to help me accomplish anything that must be done.
Okay, so next, how do these actions affect integrity for you and the other students?
Of course, it affects me a lot because what I have experienced in the past few years. Because if I'm being honest, the last time I used those services, it was back when when I'm still in my freshman year. The drawback is that it is very, the integrity is just my own integrity is really bad due to using their services, because I missed a lot of chances for me to learn about the things through the homeworks or through any other assignments.
Okay.
Really bad.
So next, about how did this experience change your view on honesty and evaluation systems at UI?
Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
How did this experience change your view on honesty and evaluation system on UI?
It did really change me a lot, because many of the students, I'm not gonna say who or whoever who uses those services, but I've seen that they always use those services and they're fine. Like there's no any conductivities from the lecturers or anyone who is serving as academic personnel or anything. They don't do anything about it. So that's my view actually. About honesty, of course, it's really bad. It really gave that persona of because it's cheating, it's lying, so it's really bad. And I completely regret that I used those services back when I was in my freshman year.
Okay, so the last one is about resolutions. What actions must the university or students take to stop these practices, and how do you build a culture of integrity?
This is actually it's not a difficult question, but there are many ways to stop it, of course. And as you know, most people would say like make a seminar or make an interesting poster or whatever, blah 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 blah, blah something like that. I think they are not very effective in helping to create that honest and good integrity environment among students. So what I would say is that the institution needs to make some kind of a group or some division or anything to help dissolve any jockeys services, online, so they can terminate them like that probably. That's probably the least good solution that I would say, which I know will never happen because our campus is... That's all I can say.
The first one is about the awareness and definitions. How do you define jockey culture at UI?
I would say the jockey culture is quite significant. However, I wouldn't say it's an epidemic either, because I do know some people who are, let's say, customers of these jockeying services. And I would say it's not the majority of people. It's just, I would say like 20% of students.
Okay, so do you consider Siakwar assistance different from assignment jockeying? If it's yes, why?
Yes, I would consider it different because the Siakwar is quite a different task from your usual assignment jockeying. It requires a different set of skills and a different set of knowledge, and it accomplishes different things.
Okay, so next, what factor bring you to be involved in the jockey of Siak and assignment, and how did this process happen?
Honestly, it's for the money, because people will pay quite a significant amount for helping them do their task. And how I got involved is I have a particular set of skills that people know that I'm quite good at. And when assignments related to that set of skills arise, some people are lazy or desperate to finish their task and therefore request me for their assistance.
Okay, so the next is about behavior and experience. First one is, have you seen advertisement about jockey tugas or jockey skripsi on social media?
To be honest, I've never seen one myself. I do, however, know from my friends that they've seen them on social media.
Next, do you know anyone who used a bot or service for course registrations?
No, I do not personally know anyone who uses the bot services.
So next, what is the price range we have heard for this service? But because you don't know about it, so yeah, we'll skip it. Next is about contributing factors. Why do students pay for this service? Like example, bad server, infrastructure, laziness, or desperation, or what?
I would say for the Siakwar in particular, it is bad servers, because every time a Siakwar is happening, the Siak is basically inoperable for students to use, and we will have to wait a significant amount of time, and during that time, more students will be stressed about the Siakwar, and I think that's one of the main reasons for it. However, for the assignments, I think it's more due to laziness or desperation. It depends on the students.
Okay, so next, does the difficulty of getting classes justify paying a third party?
I wouldn't say so. I understand courses are difficult and people have different set of skills for that specific task. However, I think I would prefer helping them to teach instead of doing their task.
Okay, so next is about solution and expectations. First one is, what should we do to stop the Siakwar jockey market?
Honestly, just fix your servers, because your servers are completely overloaded all the time during Siakwar and students can't use it. And the more you wait, the more you're going to be stressed about not getting your classes, and I think that's why students will use the jockey services in the first place.
Okay, so the last one is about, do you think the current penalties for assignment jockeying are strict enough?
I understand it is strict. However, in practice, I've never seen anyone cut repercussions for it, so I don't think it is enforced enough.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
After exploring the phenomenon of uni assignment jockey, it becomes clear that this practice is not a simple shortcut, but a serious threat to academic integrity and personal character. By paying others to do our assignment, we surrender the chance to learn, grow, and prove our own abilities. In the short term, it may look like an easy solution, but in the long term, it weakens our competence and our confidence as students and future professionals.
Using assignment jockey services also damages trust. Lecturer trust that every assignment reflects the student's own work and effort. When the trust is broken, the value of the degree itself is questioned, not only for the individuals who cheat, but for the entire academic community. This creates unfairness between students who struggle honesty and those who choose dishonest shortcut.
The consequences are not only academic, such as disciplinary sanctions or failing grades, but also ethical and personal. Each time someone chooses to outsource their responsibility, they train themselves to avoid effort, to ignore conscience, and to see success as something that can be bought. This contradicts the very purpose of higher education and the values of integrity, responsibility, and honesty that our university tries to build.
In the end, the real question is not just can we get away with it, but who are we becoming if we normalize this behavior. Saying no to assignment jockey may be difficult, especially under pressure, but that decision is an investment in our character. By choosing to do our own work, even when it is hard, we respect ourselves, our peers, and the profession we will enter in the future.
The jockey culture at UI reflects a growing tension between academic pressure and the need for integrity within the student community.
Jockey service exists because many students feel trapped between strict deadlines and competitive course registration system.
The rise of jockeying show how systemic inefficiency can push students toward unethical academic shortcuts.
Jockey practices undermine fairness by giving certain students an advantage that others cannot ethically access.
Many students turn to jockey services out of desperation, but improving academic support and deadline flexibility could significantly reduce this reliance.
The persistence of jockeying shows the needs for UI to strengthen its student guidance systems and simplify academic procedures to prevent unethical shortcuts.
Jockey culture weakens trust in the evaluation process, yet fostering transparency, clearer regulations, and stronger integrity campaigns, restoring fairness across the university.